tariffs, everybody, have been reversed. That's not actually how the day began. The day began by Donald Trump tweeting at 9:30, I guess Eastern, to be cool. Oh, wait. No, this was later when he knew he was going to cancel them. But my favorite is the be cool, everybody. Everything's going to work out. The USA will be bigger and better than ever before. Only 86 retweets. I guess someone, they screenshotted early. You got a lot of bots on there. Be cool. Everyone just like, why don't you just like chill out? Like, why don't you be cool? Okay, take a chill pill. Okay. The bond markets, which are supposed to be really stable, are kind of going crazy right now, but like, take a chill pill. Things are gonna be fine, dog. And then things were not fine. And then weirdly, Trump did tweet just before the announcement, this is a great time to buy. Buy what? Buy cars? Buy stocks. We know what he's doing. DJT. First of all, it is marvelous to me that, again, old racist man on porch tweets from old racist man's handle that says real Donald Trump on a platform that he ostensibly owns. It's about him. And he signs it like your old racist grandpa or dad who you haven't spoken to in months, who you should really reach out to because maybe you could make a case to them why MAGA is going downhill. This is DJT, by the way. This is like the text message from your mom. Text message, mom. Like, we know. This is not a courier pigeon, okay? Great time to buy. What are we doing? Huh? What's going on? And then it was announced that the tariffs are being put on hold for 90 days. The 10% tariff is going to stay for those 90 days everywhere except for China, which is like, well, that doesn't matter because all the good comes from there. So not really sure what we're doing here. So this is from Axios. 2 hours ago, President Trump paused the sweeping reciprocal tariffs the U.S. imposed this week, saying dozens of countries had reached out to negotiate new trade deals. I'm not going to tell you which ones. That's secret. No, I don't kiss and tell. Well, the penguins, they really came to the table. They brought lots of fish, and it was good. And, well, most of the island nations, because there's nobody there, as I found out, although the tariffs will be staying around on them. It's not actually a pause if it's still 10% across the board. Okay, so, but I guess the dumbass reciprocal, we're going to use AI to develop this algorithm that really reminds me of like me in the 7th grade doing, a math quiz and being like, dog, I guess it's this. Like, this kind of makes sense. Like, this would be a cool algebra equation if I wasn't getting all decimal point outputs here. Like, if that wasn't my, like, this is just some Franny in a long division situation, just not getting it right. But anyway, Trump didn't back fully off. Again, 10% baseline tariffs in place while increasing tariffs on China to 125%. U.S. stocks promptly kicked off a ferocious rally with the S&P 500 rising 7% in a matter of minutes. Gold, oil, crypto surge as well as investors quickly re-embraced risk. We love it. We'll get them again. But we're good for the next 12 hours, Jesus Christ, to be a bartender in Manhattan right now. Consumers and business confidence has plunged. The economy has slowed, and all sense of stability and permanency has evaporated. I saw this on Blue Sky, but someone was like, hey, does anyone want to move a factory here to the U.S. in our very stable, reliable economy? Get in line. Just like, don't nobody want to do that. Nobody trusts what's happening right now. And the reality is, so initially, Caroline Leavitt is saying, it's the art of the deal. Okay, you guys missed it. Art of the deal. Countries came to the table, even though it's been, 36 hours? couple days. Like, they came to the table, you missed it. Art of the Deal. You should have read his ghostwritten book because Trump's amazing. And he was basically following this meme that has been going around. Trump makes stupid decision, something really bad happens. I convince my followers the problem is now magically solved. I reverse my stupid decision. This is the pattern we have been stuck in for holy shit way too long. That was the initial, like, hey, maybe, that we're going to go with, we made a deal, everything's good, countries have come to the table. But Trump is still doing events. And so he was, I believe, meeting with NASCAR racers. And he's asked explicitly about his reversal on trade because nobody gives a crap about these racers. Although, who knows? Maybe look, I'm not trying to take him away. Very cool. Vroom, vroom, beep, beep, honk, honk, love. But here's what he had to say, and tell me if this sounds like people came to the table or other people, namely every single one in his frickin' administration, including people who know better, including Fox News hosts, including people who have some semblance of the economy. They still want the economy to only work for the rich. That's why they're upset, because stocks are mostly held by the rich. Now, of course, they don't have to lose as much because they are very, very wealthy. And so for them, 6%, 11%, that's not that much. It's not going to be the big deal. But that is exactly what happened. And let's hear how he tries to explain.
About why you decided to put a 90-day pause.
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, they were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid, unlike these champions.
First of all, you gotta love Trump's little catty words now and then. Like, they were getting yippy, yippy, like my ex-wives, like a little yippy. Women, pop, 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 little bit yippy. They were getting afraid, getting little bit yippy. Basically, they were warning you, like they had been warning you, that this was a bad idea. And they got scared. As you should be scared when you see that, your magical thinking, your yellow brick road over to, Emerald City here, which is just full of blue collar jobs that somehow are also automated, but don't require a degree, but are done by engineers, but, American investment, but they don't exist. That was all a pipe dream. And you're going to have to do a little bit more legwork if you want to implement this. So that they got yippee. Yeah, man. And we could see it. Look, Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, is like all in. That dude, again, he is high on whatever. But then you have Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who he does not seem comfortable. I mean, he's been required to make the media rounds, and each time it gets harder and harder and harder and more uncomfortable to sort of make this case, because again, he has deliberately and directly argued against tariffs. In other words, a tax. Inflationary, regressive, bad for the stock market, completely. It's like pulling the e-brake on a car that's going, 150 miles an hour. That's effectively what's happening here. And it works in cool car chases like Ronin. We all love that scene in Ronin. You don't think I know about action movies? It's probably the last one I watched. It's a very good car chase scene. I kind of want to watch it right now. The point is it only works in the movies and in Donald Trump's brain. They were getting yippy. They were getting afraid, so he paused them.
Because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did. No other president. I know the presidents. They wouldn't have done it. And it had to be done. What was happening to us on trade, not only with, if you look at it, not only with China, but China was by far the biggest abuser in history.
Markets that persuaded you to reverse course?
I was watching the bond market. The bond market is very tricky. I was watching it, but if you look at it now, it's...
The bond market, I think you mean the Bon Marché. Okay, the Bon Marché is great, amazing eclairs, good menu, nice coffee.
It's beautiful. The bond market right now is beautiful. But yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy. I think everything had... the big move wasn't What I did today, the big move was what I did on Liberation Day. We had Liberation Day in America. We were liberated from all of the horrible deals that were made, all of the horrible trade deals that were made. And I was helped by people just like this, senator, congressman, and friends, right? And we had great help in the Senate. Our Republican senators have been amazing. They stood tall. And likewise in the House. And John.
Okay, all of that is BS. What is he talking about? People stood tall. They stood with you. No, the Senate actually had been trying to get legislation passed to say what you are doing, using emergency powers to enact tariffs unilaterally that are screwing our economy and the global economy and all of, our donors effectively. You cannot do that. So that's what senators were doing. The House, by the way, Congress people in the House, Republicans, are trying to effectively hand Trump the ability to do this kind of, tariff whiplash BS without without congressional approval. So they passed something that was like until September, they don't get to mess with or exert any of their controls, legislative powers. Again, the power of the purse, doling out money that is given to Congress, people we elected. These are our effing representatives. Sometimes we have to remember that. They were like, nah, it's fine. So him saying that the Senate had your back. No, they didn't. We saw Rand Paul speak out against this. We saw Ted Cruz was like, I don't like tariffs. Tariffs are a tax, but I think it's going to be short-lived. I mean, he was right on that. Maybe Ted Cruz had the inside scoop. I don't know if all of this is a scheme to short the market in favor of his friends and his family and Truth Social stock or Tesla stock or SpaceX or whatever the hell it is, right? But if it is wild. Like how is it not? Like everything that's happening, him saying great time to buy, stay calm. It's not explicitly talking about them. I mean, it is explicitly talking about the markets, but I guess in court is what I'm trying to say. This is illegal. In fact, it's so illegal. And you know who it reminds me of? And it should remind us all of? Elon Musk. Remember, the Securities Exchange Commission was investigating Elon Musk. That's the whole reason that he got pissed and he called them woke or whatever, and he bought Twitter in the first place, was because they were like, hey, you can't just announce trading deals or going public or saying you're thinking about doing X or Y or Z on Twitter, because you're like artificially putting your thumb on the scale here. Like, it's not insider trading, it's outsider trading. It's like openly f***ing with the markets. You can't do that. And Elon got pissed and he's like, watch me. And he bought Twitter. So do you understand? Like, that's the whole backstory for it. And that is exactly what Donald Trump is doing as well. So it reeks of Elon. It super reeks of Elon. If that is indeed what is happening now, it could also just be that people around Trump, again, smarter, nutlick and smarter people, were like, done. Just call it a victory. We're done. This is really awful right now. And it goes against all of our economic advice. Larry Kudlow's freaking out as well. Like, when Kudlow gets mad, you know something's bad. Like, he's trying to launder this for you. We can't launder this for you anymore. So that is very interesting. And I do have to share this clip. Trump's trade representative, Jamie Greer, was actually in the middle of a congressional hearing when it was announced that he was backtracking on the tariffs for pausing them for 90 days, which is also like, okay, well, then what happens? Are we going to be attacking Iran by that point? What is the distraction? Do they go back into effect? And it's just a great exchange. This guy Greer being grilled by this congressperson.
Trade representative, are you aware that the tariffs have been paused?
I am, yes.
When were you made aware of that?
I understood the decision was made a few minutes ago.
Sitting here.
Under discussion.
Sitting here under discussion. So did you know that this was under discussion, and why did you not include that as part of your opening remarks?
So typically what I don't do is divulge the contents of my discussions.
What are the details of the pause?
Well, my understanding is that because so many countries have decided not to retaliate, we're going to have about 90 days.
No, excuse me? China increased their tariffs on the United States. Trump blinked.
What's the blink, sir?
I mean, both of them are a little bit wrong because Trump says he's not going to get rid of the tariffs on China specifically. But the idea that you're testifying to Congress, I mean, it is par for the course, right? That is what this whole administration is. It is hide the ball from lawmakers, lie to them, and they're there doing this interview. This is the House Ways and Means Committee, and they're trying to get some clarity from someone who should know better. And this is how we, the people, get any kind of insight and oversight into what is happening. Because clearly, Republican lawmakers are not doing their job on this. So it's amazing. But he's like, Trump blinked. Oh, we decided to reverse them because people weren't doing retaliatory. Like, no, the retaliation was your own social class rising up against you, freaking out. The retaliation was, them deciding to be like, hey, buddy, stop hitting yourself. Like, literally, stop. Like, why are you slipping on the banana peel right now?
What do you know about this pause? What are the details of it?
Well, the details, as I understand it, is that China continues to retaliate. Other countries didn't retaliate. The president 2 or 3 days ago said we wanted to negotiate with those countries that asked for meetings. That's what we're doing.
What are the
We've had
details?
discussion.
How long is the pause? How many?
It's just so funny to me that, first of all, number one, he was testifying and did not mention this at all. But also, number two, thinks that, like, in the 2 days or 3 days that it's been since the tariffs were enacted, that the fact that the countries didn't retaliate means that you won. Like, what do you, first of all, no one, they're all waiting because this is the second time you've implemented tariffs and then backtrack. They're all waiting to be like, are you sure? Like, nobody's blinking. Everyone's just like, okay, how long are we gonna? It's just it's the Curb Your Enthusiasm, like, wah, 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 wah. Like, that's all it is, but forever and ever and ever. And that's such a weird barometer. Like, we won because they didn't impose retaliatory tariffs? Excuse me?
How many days? How many weeks?
I understand it's 90 days. I haven't spoken to the president since I've
So
been in
the
this
trade
hearing.
representative hasn't spoken to the president of the United States about a global reordering of trade.
Yes, I have. I've
And
just
yet
been in the hearing with you, sir.
But yet he announced it on a tweet. WTF? Who's in charge?
The president of the United States is in charge.
And
Just don't say WTF out loud. Like, I like this guy, but I'm like, it's just like, WTF, oh God.
what do you know about those details?
Well, as I mentioned,
It looks like your boss just pulled the rug out from under you.
Yep.
And paused the tariffs, the taxes on the American people. There's no strategy. You just found out 3 seconds ago, sitting here, we saw you.
we've been discussing a
If
variety
you
of
came
these
here
actions.
knowing that you were going to be turned off, that these tariffs were going to be turned off, why didn't you include that in your opening statement? Why didn't you reference that as part of your testimony?
Well, I don't disclose my conversations with the president, sir.
These were specific
I
questions.
mean, what are you trying to get out of me, sir? Like, I don't work for the American people. I work for the president. And you look, sir, this is all 7D chess, okay? It is all, and we're playing it. I don't know. He works in mysterious ways, sir. It's just, I mean, and like, you hope that behind the scenes, this guy is making himself a little bit known as one of the yippies, one of what Trump called, they're getting a little yippy. They were getting annoyed at me because, again, I am not ruling. And this is like, this is the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, children, people, exhibit however many you need of why checks and balances are good, that why in an ostensible democracy that works, we should not rule by decree, we should not rule by executive order, we should not collapse the powers of the legislative and the judicial branch and allow ourselves to be king, because many, 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 many people will be hurt, including your own people. But again, we all saw this coming. Trump talked about tariffs before. We called it a Trump tax. He wanted to do, he implemented some of this in the beginning. And what's so like deeply ironic is if you actually wanted to stimulate American manufacturing, Republicans and Donald Trump would have to admit that Joe Biden's policies were actually pretty good. That ultimately they would just be like, well, we'll continue the Inflation Reduction Act, but I want to call it something else. The Trump Mangled Dick Swinging Act. You know, like that's, like just rebrand it.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuationroom. Do